Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the Confused the Focus Talks with Lakeisha. I am Lekeisha, and I'm so excited that you're here with us today. We got an amazing show that is planned for today, and I believe that you're going to be excited about it. Definitely, it's called Breaking Free from Toxic Patterns. Ooh, we're going to have a great discussion, family. It's just me today, so we're going to have a big dialogue, family. Make sure you share with your friends. Get your crayons, get your coloring books, and get your markers. Let's get into it. Definitely make sure you connect with us. Listen to the place that we can be comfortable. We can definitely be relaxed and definitely be able to be engaged in great information and definitely solutions to answer the questions that we have when we're from stuck to being unstuck. That is our mission here, and I'm so excited about it. Family, make sure you share with the friends and definitely make sure you subscribe to this amazing channel and definitely connect with us and definitely be in tune with it. Be open to hear some of these answers that's going to be answered today. And I really appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Blessings to each and every one of you. To stay tuned. Be right back. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome back. I'm so excited, family. We have one person that's here with us today. We got our amazing King Wise here with us, and definitely he wants to say hello. I really appreciate him so much. Definitely, that is my technical producer, and he's always rocking with us at the Confused Focus Talks with Lakeisha family. Listen, I'm so excited about this conversation. Honestly, I really believe it's compelling. It is needed for each and every one of us to really have some concrete answers as far as being in a pattern, that is really toxic for ourselves. And honestly, we're just going through the patterns. We're going through this flow. And it's because we are just, immune to it being a problem because we get used to it. But honestly, if you're not reaching the things that you need to reach in the world today, you definitely be able to incline to change your patterns that's happening with yourself moving ahead. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, family. And I'm really loving this conversation that is starting. So when we're talking about identifying toxic patterns, you may not know what it is. So the question that has come always when it comes to this, when we're dealing with toxic patterns, in our life, how do we identify it? Like literally, how do we make it happen to actually change it and really regroup to do something different? This happens all the time, honestly, just question. And honestly, sometimes we think that, we know the answers, but we really just need more information. So what I would say for this one is really just be inclined to listen and just understand the emotions that is happening with you. If it's emotions that are not feeling very good, if you're feeling really lonely, if you're feeling like you're frightened, if you feel like you're exhausted, if you're feeling like something is just really just not on target, it's not high energy, happy, joy, that's a sign. That's maybe something that you want to look into, honestly, to be able to regroup, to understand that you want to compelling change your patterns. Honestly, you just need to really just identify that and begin to realize, listen, I want to feel good and happy all the time. I want to feel some type of vibration. I always say, if I want to feel like I'm going to Disney World and I want to feel like I won $1 million, it's like that type of energy that you want to feel. But if you're feeling really just like you lost something, if you feel like that you're forgotten, that low energy, that just really just feeling just like everything is not going great, sometimes that is an identifier. And then when you won't want that to happen, definitely I will say to definitely be inclined to write that down, number one, and begin to figure out somebody that you can actually share this with. Honestly, you can't keep it within yourself. When we do that, a lot of times we really do a detriment for ourselves, honestly. When you really do take a deep dive, share it with somebody that's special, that really be, a resource for you, and definitely will not judge you at all. You definitely want to be in a safe place all the time. Now, one thing that I would know, there is another way that you can also do things in that regard. Once you begin to identify it, okay, I will begin to write things down. Write those moments down that you feel like you cannot really grow in. A lot of times, it may just be you. You may be by yourself. You may be in a position where you can't really share it with somebody because you can't relate to anybody. Maybe you moved, maybe you went to another state, or maybe it's just you and there's nobody there to share it with because you just don't have anybody to connect with. That happens, family. I'm telling you, always understand where you're at. Understand where you're at. So if it's just by yourself, what I would say, journal. Definitely take a pen and paper and just write down your feelings. Just journal to yourself. Listen, this is something I'm feeling and I really don't like it. And it's something that I definitely want to come out of. So that's really journaling does work. So as you journal and write down what's going on, check your feelings, check your emotions. Are you feeling? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling afraid? Whatever it is, begin to think about that and write that down. Honestly, when you begin to write it down, family, I promise you, you're going to be inclined to get more information. Definitely begin to understand those negative emotions that you feel, is something that is real because you want to change it. So, as you begin to write it down and as you begin to understand the feelings that you're feeling, I need you to write down what you do want. Begin to switch that. Begin to say, listen, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling afraid. To, I want to feel wonderful. I want to feel great. I want to feel energy. I want to feel like I'm going someplace where it's joyful. Begin to identify a joyful place. Maybe it's a walk in the park. Maybe it's cooking a special dinner. Maybe it's going to connecting with, a great movie, whatever it is. Begin to write that down and say, this is what I desire to do. And this is what I will say. Go do it. Go make that happen. Go to that movie. Make that dinner. Definitely connect with yourself. Honestly, when you begin that process, like I said, when you write it down first, and then when you begin to operate in that, I'm telling you, you just never know. Things will happen. You never know. You may introduce yourself to a new friend, or you may connect with a new way of doing something that's really fulfilling. You'll begin to change the scope. You begin to change the momentum of being of lack to something that is really interesting that you want to dive into. I promise you, it's going to be great for you. So, family, I believe I have another question. Hey, Jahan, how are you? Thank you so much for coming into the Confused to Focus Talks with Lekeisha. I appreciate you. This is a great, great, great show today, family, because I promise you, this is something that everyone resonates with. And honestly, it's a compelling question that a lot of us really don't get a resolution for. But today we're going to get some. I promise you, we're going to be great, great, great experience today, family. So we're going to keep it going. So with all that being said, I would say that it's important for us, family, to just begin to not only, like I said, write the emotions down, understand what's happening, begin to change the scope, go ahead and plan to do something fun. And definitely, I will say, change your perspective. One thing that you can change your perspective and begin to incline to do something different as you begin to connect with other people. So when you begin to connect with other people or a different environment, that's always a great way for you to begin to do other things versus being swamped in the toxic thoughts and patterns. Other perspectives of what other people have doing is really always a great resource. Ask them, like, do you ever feel like, you're not wanted or you're not belong or whatever the feeling and emotion is? And make sure it's a person that's not going to ever judge. It's going to be someone that's going to be inclined to listen to what you're saying. When you get that feedback, they're honestly probably going to give you a resource that's going to be revolutionary for you. It's going to be great for you. And honestly, you're going to be able to get tools to really put in your arsenal to begin to move forward. They may tell you, you know what I would do is I began to go to a group. I began to go to places where they had, like, maybe I would say an example of a pottery class. Or, they begin to tell you, go to a dance class, something that you probably never really began to go into. Honestly, those opportunities really actually changes the scope, honestly, and really get your mind off of things that you don't want to be around and you can't change. I'm keeping it real with you. Personal experience. I know for me, I had to change my scope and my environment from places that were not welcome and not wanted. Honestly, I had to go out and do things that I'd never done before. I had to go out to a dance class. I had to go to a pottery class. I had to go drawing class, all those things. Now, mind you, I have a good time with myself and have really great spaces for myself. But at the time, I knew I needed to change my scene. So I began to be inclined to do something different. Mind you, it was awkward, to be honest with you, because it was something I'd never done before. But at the same time, it began to be fun. Not only it was fun, I began to be connected with other people that I resonated with. And guess what? I began to increase my arsenal of friends. I began to do something different, and I began to really create a different strategy of really connecting with myself. Honestly, that was really great for me. And honestly, I really believe that it would be great for you too. Do something different that you've never done before. That's really going to change the scene. And honestly, it will keep you away from that pattern of, thinking about something that you can't change or that you don't want to repeat again. Honestly, it's going to show you a different way of living life. And honestly, I believe we should live life more abundantly and happy. Being in a place where you're less stressed. You have to be honest with that stress when it happens, because stress does happen, family. So when we know that stress happens, and it can be like an overwork load from your place of business, it could be an overwork load from employees that you have, or it can be something that, a project that needs to get done by tomorrow. Things like that can be anxiety on so many levels. So when that happens, I would say begin to do some of those things that I said to do. Begin to take your weight away from those issues at that moment that you cannot change, and begin to change the scene. Begin to do something that's fun, begin to do something that is going to put a joyful smile on your face. Honestly, change that emotion. Change those emotions that, really are creating a havoc in your mind. I'm going to say that again, a havoc in your mind. And honestly, when you change it, only great things will continue to happen. The opposite. A joyful scene, a joyful pattern of love. Honestly, it's really going to be great for you, because when you change those ways, it's really just going to build even more great ways for you. That's always a great pattern, and it really works, family. What I would say, I'm going to give you a personal example and a personal story. When I began to understand that it was a process of life that I, did not want, when it came to my health, family. When it came to my health at one time, I found out that, I had to really, it was a pattern. I had to go in the hospital, and I had to actually begin to, had to accept a toxic issue that the doctor told me that was really growing in my body that I could not change. It was a chronic disease. Chronic disease, family. Chronic diseases aren't fun, and they're not happy. So I had to begin to accept what was happening. And I began to say in my mind, I need something different. Something has to change. So I began to understand that something had to change my mind, and I had to build boundaries for myself. I had to begin to build a arsenal, of self-love, of self-care. I had to change through everything. Everything that I did for business could not remain the same the way it did yesterday or a couple of weeks ago. I had to begin to set boundaries with my family. I had to say, family, I cannot operate the same way that I used to operate. I have to begin to, structure my time in a certain way where I have less stress and I have less, issues, going on, and I had to begin to protect my health. I had to be inclined to understand that I mattered. And when you be inclined to understand that you matter, you begin to build healthy boundaries in your mind and around your environment. One thing about it, if you have family that really care about you and that appreciate you, you're going to have to continue to say yes to you. You have to begin to say, I deserve this. I deserve this healthy boundary. So that healthy boundary really helped me to really accept this toxic disease that was happening in my body. So much so, when I began to put boundaries up for myself, and I began to say yes to me, and I began to take care of myself by scheduling things in a positive way, and began to understand how I can say yes to some things and I can say no to some things. Those things are great, family. Sometimes we need to say a healthy no at the times when we need to say it. And you know what? It's going to be rewarding for yourself. I promise you it will. For me, it was rewarding. I got healthier. I got better. I got vibrant and so happy and excited. And I began to really operate differently, even in my life and business, family. I really did. So I was happy about that. So that was something that I had to do for myself. And that really was rewarding for myself. So here we go. We got some people that are here with us. Yeah, Jahan, how are you? Of course, you were here. I appreciate you, my brother. And definitely, Jahan says something that will bring you stress daily. You need a change. I'm telling you, Jahan, I had to do that, my friend. You know, definitely I had to begin to really be inclined to it. But honestly, can I tell you this? Honestly, I had to really understand that was a signal that I had to be aware of. A lot of times we ignore those signals. We ignore those things that are happening and we just really act like it's nothing that we need to pay attention to. Honestly, that is a red flag for yourself. That is something that you need to really be inclined to do something about. Do an adjustment, take a pause, and begin to understand that it's important for you to really strategically plan a different way for you to begin to receive success. Because honestly, if you don't, someone else is not going to really pay attention to it. No one else is going to treat you the way that you need to be treated, family. You got to say yes to you first. You got to say yes to you first. I promise you, when you do, it's going to be rewarding. Oh, yes. We got our Brown Sugar Cafe is here with us. What's going on, Terrence? How are you? Blessings to you, my friend. Great conversation, right? When we say yes to ourselves and when we begin to put those boundaries in, it's really going to, alleviate a lot of toxic patterns in our life. Honestly, it's really going to give us some self-care. It's going to give us self-respect. You're going to be inclined to say that, I love myself. And when you love yourself, you'll be inclined to love others. You'll be inclined to forgive others. You'll be inclined to operate differently. Let me tell you this. You'll be inclined to have more grace to others. A lot of times, sometimes that grace level is not as high as it needs to be. And you need to give people a break. And you need to be a lend a hand to somebody. When you do those ways of thinking and operate in that way, honestly, I really believe it's really going to change your scope of how you do things, and is really going to appropriate the right atmosphere for yourself. When you begin to think about you and begin to think about the greatness that you can be by actually putting these key steps for yourself, honestly, it's just really going to be a benefit for yourself. One thing that I would say, that in our life, life happens. People say life be lifing. That is true. Things change, situations change, atmospheres change. A lot of times, it changes without your buy-in. They didn't ask you. It just do it. So when you think about how we have 4 seasons, we have winter, summer, spring, and fall. They come every year. We have a choice to, operate in the best pattern in order for us to be able to operate through those seasons. Always know that you always persevere through it, right? You always arrive in the next season the perfect way, right? Begin to think about that when it comes to any patterns that you've had in your life. You can break patterns. You can break anything that you desire to break. You can begin to look at it in a different lens and to look at it a different way. And you can begin to go forward in a best pattern that's going to be best for your health and wealth. The whole point is, it's important for you to say yes to yourself. Put those boundaries up. Begin to say, I love you. I forgive you. I have grace. Begin a lending hand to somebody. Begin to operate in that way, in that fashion. And when you begin to have a process by doing things in that way, guess what? You're building patterns. You can begin to build a new way of thinking over and over again, with a smile on your face, with joy in your heart. And honestly, when you begin to operate in that way, a way that's going to be a benefit for you, a way that's going to be a restoration factor for you, honestly, you'll look back and say, wow, I don't know why I never did this before. Why I haven't been going through this way before, because this feels so good. You want to feel good daily, family. You want to feel good daily, and you want to be restored daily. When you have a smile on your face, we have energy that's really on high. When you have something that feels that is really, really amazing, you want to keep that going. Just keep it going. Write that book. Do journaling. Take that walk. Take that cruise. Do anything that you know that's going to put a smile on your face. Honestly, create your atmosphere. Create your world. Honestly, that's going to be so restoring for yourself. And honestly, is really going to change the scope of everything around you. I promise you, the patterns are going to just alleviate. The patterns of the past is going to shed away. It's going to be non-existent. I'm just telling you for personal experience. When I began to operate in this way, family, everything started to work out. Everything started to work as planned. Have patience with yourself. Self-love. Understand that you deserve it. Affirmations. Say affirmations to yourself. Say, I am worthy. I am loved. I can do this. I can do hard things. I can accomplish this goal. I believe if it's in my mind and if it's in my viewpoint, I know I can make it happen. Begin to say that to yourself. Begin to say that you can do anything. I promise you, your words are powerful. Your words matter. Always know that. Always know that for sure. We have someone else that just responded. Yes, we have to be intentional and to always in creating an opportunities to smile again. We have to begin to do that, family. Yes, Terrence, I appreciate that. You are so right. When we begin to understand that, we have control over everything. We can create our atmosphere. We can create everything that we have, family. We can change everything that we don't desire. I promise you we can. We have so many experiences, family. If you're still living and breathing, if you're still here today, if you're still walking, if you didn't leave, there is time. You can continue to keep molding the clay. You can continue to move forward. Always joyfully keep moving forward with a smile, family. I promise you. One thing that I would say to each and every one of you, that you deserve to win. You deserve to accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. Always write down the things that you want to do. If you want to go on that cruise, write that down. If you want to actually write that book, write down that you're going to do that. Write down the pages. I'm telling you, right? You can just write it down. You don't have to have it all perfect. You can just begin to write. I'm telling you, you'll begin to write your copies right there. If you want to actually build a play, you can go ahead and research how you're building that play and just begin to do the scenes. Scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Begin to operate in it with what you have in your environment. I promise you, you can make everything happen. Go ahead and make it happen, family. Do all those things. I promise you, if it is in your mindset, it's probably meant for you to go ahead and make sure it is happening. Yes. We have some more people are commenting. Let's see what's going on, what everyone is saying. All right. There we go. Yes, we have our amazing Queen Val, the global voice, here with us today. She says, good afternoon, Lakeisha. Queen Lakeisha, good afternoon to you, Queen. Also she says, I am still living and breathing. Queen, yes, I can accomplish anything. Yes, you can. I'm telling you, all you got to do is keep on that same mindset and you could do anything. And I promise you, you're going to look at them and say, wow, look at me. Look at what I am doing today. This is truly amazing. It's all about what we say for ourselves. I promise you, you can do anything. You can make anything happen. You can create anything. I promise you, you can do it. Continue to say that to yourself. Continue to walk in it. Go ahead and go to those environments where those things that you desire to happen are happening. Just sit there. Just go in the environment. Go ahead and pay for that conference. Go ahead to that location where that you want, as far as whatever, any projects that you want to happen. Go ahead and pay the ticket so you can see it being done. I promise you, as you put yourself in those environments, as you begin to walk into what you know that is yours, everything is going to open up for you. I really believe that as we change our emotions and change the way we think on things, family, I'm telling you, take that one day at a time, just continue moving forward on that path. You can accomplish and do anything. I promise you, you can. So I really appreciate this time, family, that we have today. And really honestly, just being able to understand, that we can actually achieve success and we can win when it comes to any toxic patterns of our, from our past and that we are living in. I promise you, you can change the scope of everything that you want, family. So I appreciate each and every one of you. And definitely, I want us to go ahead and talk about this one last thing that we have. I have this amazing conference that is coming up. It's called the Unlocking Self-Love Family. And definitely that's a conference that we're going to be able to unlock, everything and that's happening with our life that we don't desire. It is going to be a 5-week course. And definitely we're going to be talking about a few things each week. So the first week, we're going to talk about focusing on understanding the patterns. Week 2, we're going to talk about how to help break free from those cycles. And week 3, we're going to be talking about learning how to establish healthy boundaries. And in week 4, family, we're going to talk about really go deep on self-love and self-care. And then the last week is the best week ever. That's when we're going to be taking action. And we're going to implement the strategies that we have learned over the last 4 weeks and create a lasting change. Honestly, it's going to be blessings for you. It's going to be great for you. When you begin to understand that you can do anything and be anything, honestly, it's really, that's all it takes. So this 5-week course is going to be amazing. And that is going to be on April 27th all the way until May 25th. And definitely it's going to be a great conversation that we're going to have. We're going to have strategies. We're going to have a workbook. We're going to have definitely question and answer section. And honestly, it's going to be a group effort. You're not going to be by yourself. It's going to be a team of people that's coming to us. We're going to connect with each other, and then we're going to be in a Zoom form. So I'm so excited for us to be able to connect, family, and definitely make sure you connect. And definitely it's going to be online. So it's not going to be something that you got to go far in. So we're going to have a great time, family. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I'm just so thankful that we were able to have this time together talking about breaking free from toxic patterns. And it's important for us to be able to break them and definitely retrieve our goals of success moving forward in year 2024. You deserve success. You deserve everything that's happened to you that's going to be able to be good for you. And you deserve the win, family. I look forward to seeing on you next time that we are here on the Confused and Focused Talks with Lakeisha. And we are here every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, family. And I'm looking forward to us connecting again. Don't forget to connect with our Patreon as well. And definitely don't forget to connect with me on LakeishaMosley.com for all the resources and all the amazing information that we have for our next levels of where we're going to go into and touring time. And also don't forget to connect with this t-shirt, family. So rockstar. You definitely are so rockstar. And I would love for you to have a t-shirt of your own. You can definitely connect with me on my website for the t-shirts. So how you can go ahead and purchase your shirt for yourself and for your loved ones, family, because everyone deserves to be here and be so rockstar. So with all that being said, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you don't forget to come again next week, family, because you never know if I'm going to have an amazing guest, definitely probably a celebrity guest as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all so much, and there's nothing you can do about it. And you already know how I end this show. And all you do, lead with confidence, understanding, and love always. Don't forget to make sure you get a copy of the books that are behind me too as well. Blessings to each and every one of you. Love you guys.